Nick, let's throw it over to you. Pure Storage, same situation there. Lots of capability out there that are being enabled to sort of allow us to operate in this new model, if you will, this certainly cloud smart model. Give us an example of something you'd like to highlight there.
Sure. I think that, over the course of the past year, I want to thank every CIO and leader on this call for your tremendous efforts in support of the United States during this extraordinary time. And Jim, as a veteran and customer of yours, I'm deeply pleased to see the continued improvement on the evolution of the customer-facing services in support of the VA's digital services. It's been cool to watch and fun to use. It's working. We saw, last year was proof of the concept that, what happens when preparedness meets opportunity, and is the culmination of, as some have said previously, about 20 years worth of work. There's four things that kind of drive organizational dynamics in the IT space, and it's, people, process, policy, and technology. And technology is easy, but the policies and the thought processes of the leaders and the staffs in terms of the comfort in adopting and the ability to adopt external services and utility computing services, and just making that de rigueur has been hugely transformational. And then having the acquisition vehicles necessary to be able to move the money, also incredibly important. And I think one of the fundamental things that drove our comfort in doing that in government and from the vendor side, understanding what we had to deliver was FedRAMP. So if we can provide commercial services that meet the government security criteria, it solves a huge problem in terms of adoption. Now, the other thing that we saw was, I want to give a very special shout out in the two key areas that we were able to support the government, but most especially the agencies. The Department of Energy has been undergoing a tremendous infrastructure transformation, particularly out in the national laboratories, and we saw an adoption and an insertion of a complete enterprise data center infrastructure at DOE in about 6 weeks. And we're talking multiple dozen petabytes worth of storage that went in and out, the net effect of which was a 90% reduction in power, space, and cooling consumption, a 10x improvement in their overall performance and service efficiency, and the elimination of all of their sustainment technical debt for that infrastructure. It was breathtaking. In my experience, that takes 18 to 36 months to accomplish. And the Sandia National Labs team did it in less than 3 weeks. So it was, 10 racks worth of equipment removed, 1 rack of equipment in place, and a sudden and extraordinary improvement in the operational services at a critical time for the department, as they were resourcing not only obviously their usual scientific and energy research, but making themselves available for the pursuit of COVID solutions and virology, and enabling other agencies to leverage their extraordinary supercomputing capability to solve an immediate emergency challenge for the United States. So that was number one. The second one, and I'm going to cheat because this was a tie, the Department of the Navy about 2 years ago embarked on a endeavor to create an artificial intelligence as a service platform at Naval Surface Warfare Crane. It was specifically focused around AI and cybersecurity applications. But what they did was, rather than keep that in-house and hug their data silo, they released it on a service catalog to the entire Department of the Navy. And the catalog is actually accessible by the entire DoD. So they set themselves up as an AI and machine learning ops as a service component that the entire DoD can leverage, but very importantly for the DoD, on their own networks. So using their own data on their own networks, there's a tremendous willingness and growing willingness across the departments to share the technology investments that they're making and make them available as a service to other components and other agencies. And that's really cool, because my theory has long been that the government's probably the largest cloud in the world. And now you're starting to see the government agencies act like service providers, even within the US government's own infrastructure.